Welcome to this video, everybody. Some big updates to the plugin, of which I'm really excited. As you can see, the layout has been changed a little bit on the front end, and there is also an extra filter over here. What are the things that have been changed? There is an option now to filter and to change the view a whole lot. By the way, if you have not seen the previous video, you might check it out. There I will cover the basics of the first version of this plugin, which I've created myself. And now this is like the next iteration of it with a lot of extra functionality and more productivity improvements. So this is the video where we'll be showing all the more improvements as opposed to the previous version. So what you see here is the group by filter. If I do this group by assignee, you will see it will change the view and put the columns like to do, in progress and done, the same as when we clear it, but it will make different categories by this filter. If I do priority, you will see I have the category or the priority high and then the to do, in progress, done. So you can see at a glance for every priority which tasks there are and in which column they belong. Same for label. The labels are the ones that you see in purple here that you can just include. You see the tag urgent, you see the one that's in urgent, VB simple boards, you see those two. So these are options to have a more like broader view of your task board, and you can filter it by label, by priority, or by assignee. Assignee is then, you see here there is probably nobody assigned. Let me do this here. I am now assigned to this task, and now you see immediately it opens up a next view. This person, all the tasks that this person has, which are still in to do, in progress, and done. So that's something I think is really useful, especially if the board gets a little bit bigger. That allows you to see something really fast, or more have a broader view of your task boards. You immediately saw something else that I've just done is with the quick change options here. These were not here before in the previous version. So what can we change? We can change the column, so in progress to done, for example. If we click outside, it will change it. Of course, you can still just drag it to the other side. That's maybe even easier, but there is still an option to do it over here as well. Then you also have can change the priority, so I can go to medium. If I click outside, you see it changes immediately to medium, and I can assign person to this task also without having to open up the modal and then click here to assign the user. So it saves a little bit of time and do the most basic things you can now change from here, including the title. So if I go to the title, you will see it changes a little bit the color. If I click, I can just add something to the title, click on enter the second line, and I click outside, and it will save this new title. So there's also the previous version, you had to click and then had to change the title here. So I also think this is something that's really helpful and speeds up the workflow a lot. Okay, let me clear the filters here. So the other things that you see are still the same, but if you open up the model, you will see there are some new cool updates as well. If I go to the description and also for the comments, there is an option now to include users. If I press on this button, you will see it gives me a list of the current users of this website, and I can tag them this way by clicking on it. What will happen if we use this system? If I use this system, the people that are tagged, their associated email will get sent an email with an update regarding this thing that I just have done. So I have put them in the description. So these two persons, or these two email addresses associated with these two persons, will be notified from, hey, there is a new task, or there is a task in which you have been tagged in the description. So they will be notified immediately that there has been something that their name has been included in a comment or in a description. So they probably should check it out, which was also not possible in the previous versions. You had to manually go to the website, open up the boards, and then see are there updates. With this, you will get notified immediately. The same thing is here, comments. If I go to comments, I can also, this is a comment for, and then tag a person. And same thing will happen if I now post this comments, you see just now, this will also update according to how long ago it was posted, and now this person, the email address associated with this account, will also get notified from, hey, you were tagged in a comment on this specific task, and it will also include the link to go directly to this task, which is also a really helpful feature, I think. The activity log was also not there before in the previous version. This helps keep track of everything that has happened to a specific task. So for every task you will have its own activity log. So here you see that I have mentioned this person, and here you see that I commented, and then the comment with the tag. So you can see if multiple people are working on the same tag or the same task, you will be able to see everything that has happened and every update that has been done to the task and by which person it has been done. So these are some of the more productivity-wise really useful features. You will also have some options in the backend for the email system, which I will show you in a minute, where you can further specify in which cases you want the email to be sent and in which cases you want the email not to be sent. There is still an option to not use the email system, but then they will not be notified, and the person has to log into the website and then check manually if there has been updates. The checklist has been the same. You can just add checks, and then if they are done within a task, you can include or check them. It's the same as before. Click to assign users, same thing, but now also with the change that assignees are also getting an email. So this will also trigger the email notification system. This person will now receive an email to tell them, hey, you have been assigned to a task, maybe check it out, with a link towards the task. So also helps you speed up a little bit the workflow. You don't have to do it manually anymore. Labels are the same. You can add more labels by just adding a comma and then typing the next one. Deadline, priority, status are all the same as the previous version. This is new, recurring, which is a really cool feature if you have a lot of recurring tasks. What is the option? You just check it, and then you can select daily, weekly, or monthly. If I select daily, and I'll put the deadline to today, we are the 26th, so let me put it to the 27th, for example, and it's a daily recurring task. If I now save this task, you will see that it's the date is here, 27th of February. You see the checklist that has been checked. So these are all just short notification things. So you can see at a glance there has been one comment and there is a person assigned to this task. So these are just the visual representation of the settings that I've just done to this task. But if I now go, it's already in the done column. So this will only work with tasks that are still in progress. This is a daily task. Let's say that every day, again, we need to test, and it has to be for this tag with the priority high with a checklist. If I now drag this to the done column, so I'm telling the system this daily task has been done, and I now refresh my page, or the next time I load this board, you will see, if I go back to the same board as before, if I change it to the done column like this, and then I just open up the board again, you see it automatically has included the same thing as here. So the testing with the tag, testing with the tag, with the same priority, with the same checklist, without a comment, of course, but the comment can be specific for the task. And you now see, and the same assignee, so the same task, because my system knows it's a daily task. If I tell the system my daily task is done, it will use this date, add one day to it, and just create a new to-do one, because I have told it it's a daily task. So every time I set it to done, it considers it's the daily tasks to be done, and it will add the same one with this exactly the same settings, but just with the date one day in the future. And it would be 1 week in the future if I would have used the weekly recurring option, or 1 month in the future if I would have used the 1 month in the future. So if I go back to the board, you see now the 1st of March, so it has again included the task. So just be careful, every time you drag it, it considers a daily task to be done, and it will just add a new one with 1 day with a 1 day delay. So this helps save you a lot of time. If you have different tasks, one is weekly, one is monthly, and you don't want to forget if you have a task completed, you know you need to include it again in the to-do column. Now this can be sped up again by doing it with the recurring option. It will also always automatically come in the to-do column, and that way you can never miss a task, because every time it's done, automatically you get an update in the to-do column. The other thing that I want to show you is the new way of, you see this is looking different. We have 4 columns instead of 3, and we have also different naming. We have testing, debugging, live, and delivery. From the backend, you will be able to just rename columns to whatever naming you want to use. If you have a different workflow or a different naming convention, now is also an option to just change whatever naming you want, and also add a new column if you want to have an extra one. It's also something that's now in the new system, which was not here before in the old one. So I think from the front end, this is about everything that I can show you. Adding a new task is the same as before. Clicking on it opens up the modal, and then all the new things that have already been told. If we now go to the backend, this is the backend view. These are my different boards. If I go to my internal finance one, you will see here the 3 columns are here in the bottom, and I can change this to whatever I want, and then click on save or update. And if we go back to our internal finance one, you see it has updated already to whatever I want. So this is the fast way to change the columns, and you can also reorder them if you want them to reorder. Okay, you can also remove columns if you only want 1 or 2 columns instead of 3. So this is something that's also new and that was not there in the previous version. Then if I go to settings, you will see some extra options. These are the email notifications. By default, they will all be checked, but here you can uncheck whichever you don't want. So the more useful ones, I think, are the when assigned to a task, when mentioned in a task or a comment, and when someone comments on a task you're assigned to. So these are things that send an email every time one of these things happens. The system sends an email to that user that's in the system. Daily digest is also something you can use. This will just give a daily reminder to people or about tasks that are due soon. So the deadline is coming closer, or overdue task. If they have a task and the deadline has already been passed, you can send a daily reminder to people automatically to let them know, hey, you have this task and this task that should be looked at because the deadline has already been passed and it's still not in the done column. For example, due soon, you can here change how soon this should be. Do you want this to be 3 days before, 10 days before? You can change to whatever value you want, and then just click on save, and it will use the settings that you have just saved. So I think this is also something really useful. If you don't want the emails to be sent, just uncheck everything and you will never send an email through the system. Then keep boards and tasks when uninstalling is just an extra option now. If you uninstall the plugin for whatever reason, you can check this. It will keep the boards and the tasks in the database, and then whenever you reinstall the plugin in the future, it will still know and load the boards from before. So I think these are the most important ones that I that I have included now. This is the backend view, so you have all the same functionality in the backend as you have in the front end that you can check. So this is something that's now in the new version. Another thing is the scroll bar. Maybe that was also not in the previous version. Scroll bar is just to not make the columns really long, and so you have to scroll down a lot on the page. Now it's all within a fixed height, and within that height you can just scroll down to check how many tasks. You can also see here at the top how many there are, and if it's too much, you can always try to group them by priority, and then you have a different kind of view where you can see the medium tasks, the high tasks, and the low tasks. You might have seen a calendar view here. This is not the version that's now currently for download, but I am working on a calendar view as well, which you can see over here. where you can add tasks in a calendar. It's working already quite fine, but it's still not possible now to add tasks by clicking. This is something I would like to do extra and just have to test a little bit more, but it opens up exactly the same kind of model as otherwise, but now it's in a calendar view, so you have more of a look at the calendar to be able to see visually which tasks by which deadline should be done. So this is something that will be shipped in the next big update, again also with duplicate and archive options. These are not included in the version that I'm now offering for sale, but in the next iteration of the plugin, which I'm still working on and testing about, this will also be something extra where you can, if you have a board that you're not using anymore, for example this one, you will be able to archive it so it's not in the list anymore, so you have a bit of more cleaner interface. And it will also be able to duplicate the board if you want to have the same kind of layout with the same kind of column naming and all the tasks already inserted, so you don't have to start from scratch. You will also have the option to duplicate, but still in the version now, the calendar view and these two options are not yet included, but will be in the near future. I'll put a link in the description below. Everything is a lifetime license. I think it's really fairly priced. It's not too much. You can get it from 10 euros for the cheapest one for one site, that is, and it will be for yours for your life. And every coming update, I'm open to suggestions as well. If you have any suggestions about extra functionality, please let me know. I'm happy to look into it and work on this plugin to make it something really, really valuable for as much as people as possible. So as always, thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.